Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. How serious is the MLB lockout getting, and how terrible of a commissioner is Rob Manfred? We're going to get into that in just a second, but quick reminder for all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you're going to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you at this point that we might lose games due to the MLB lockout? And also, how terrible of a commissioner is Rob Manfred? And what makes Rob Manfred the worst commissioner in all of professional sports? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So we've got an update on the MLB lockout, and the update isn't good. Bob Nightingale tweeted out, the first week of 2022 is resembling the last month of 2021. There are no negotiating sessions currently scheduled between MLB and the Players Association. They have met twice in the last month since the lockout, but strictly on non-core economic issues. So definitely not the news you want to hear, but wait a second. Who was that tweet from? Who broke that news? Yes, that is Bob Nightingale. So I'm hoping the fact that it's Bob Nightingale means that the lockout is going to be over by today, right? Because it's Bob Nightingale. No, but seriously, it's definitely not the news you want to hear. You want to hear that these two sides are making progress, that they're starting to budge, that they at the very least have meetings scheduled, that they're starting to discuss core economic issues and things of that nature. Because look, at this point, we know that there's a soft deadline at the beginning of February, but the longer they wait, the more chance that you're going to have to delay spring training. And the worst case scenario is you delay the start of the regular season. And it's very contentious between the two sides. The players, they feel like they were wronged in the last CBA. The owners, they didn't like how the negotiations went down for the 2020 regular season when they lost money. And it's just not going to be pretty. It's going to get ugly before it gets better. And look, do you have very much confidence in a league that's led by the worst commissioner in all of professional sports? Of course, I'm talking about Rob Manfred. Oh, wait, check that, Rob Manfred. The guy who said that the World Series trophy was a piece of metal. Look, I'll never forget what Justin Turner had to say about Rob Manfred. After Manfred called the World Series trophy a piece of metal, Justin Turner said, I don't know if the commissioner has ever won anything in his life. Maybe he hasn't, but the reason every guy's in this room, the reason every guy is working out all off season and showing up to camp early and putting in all the time and effort is specifically for that trophy, which, by the way, is called the commissioner's trophy. So for him to devalue it the way he did yesterday just tells me how out of touch he is with the players in this game. At this point, the only thing devaluing that trophy is that it says commissioner on it. So JT from the top rope a few years ago, and other than being an A1 burn, it shows you that the players around this league, they don't respect Rob Manfred. They know he's just a mouthpiece for the owners. He's their puppet. That's all he is, and he just makes bad decisions for the game of baseball. I'm actually going to drop an entire video about Rob Manfred and why he's the worst commissioner in all of sports sometime this week. But let's talk about this lockout, because Max Scherzer, he also had some comments that he made to the LA Times about the lockout. He had some interesting stuff to say. Scherzer told Jorge Castillo of the LA Times, we feel as players that too many teams have gone into a season without any intent to win during this past CBA. Even though that can be a strategy to win in future years, we've seen both small market and large market clubs embrace tanking, and that cannot be the optimal strategy for the owners. He would go on to say, the grand bargain is that you make less money earlier in your career so that you can make more money later in your career. Teams have shown that they're not willing to pay for players' past production for a whole slew of reasons. And if that's the case, that's the case. But if we're going to look at players that way, then we need to then allocate more money to players earlier in their career. So, one, he's completely right. Two, it is a little weird coming from a guy that just signed a 3-year, $130 million contract, a player that's going to make about $14,000 per pitch. But the point still remains the same, and he's totally right. Teams are embracing tanking, whether or not they're small market teams or big market teams. We've seen it across the league. Not every team is interested in competing to win a World Series title. And I think for me, what really hurts is you just see so much meaningless baseball around the league as the year rolls on. You see empty stands, especially especially when football season starts. It's reflected in the lower TV ratings in the regional markets, whose teams really have nothing to play for. So there's a myriad of issues that the league and the players have to find a way to iron out before this lockout ends. And my issue is, why isn't there more of a sense of urgency? Why are they playing a game of chicken at this point? They're not doing what's best for the game. And when you also consider how many unsigned players there are out there and how many teams are trying to construct their rosters before spring training, they need to get this done as soon as possible. I don't understand what they're waiting for. They're doing nothing at this point. They need to find a way to get in a room and get this deal done as soon as they possibly can for the betterment of the sport. Because right now, from an optics standpoint, it also is suffering. It's falling out of sight from the national consciousness. You have football, you have basketball. Not many people are really talking about Major League Baseball as much as they would have if we're talking about potential signings and trades and all the little deals that get done. Now, I'm still hoping that the two sides can come to an agreement on a new CBA at some point in early February and that we can get this season rolling. But every day that passes without even any meetings scheduled, it becomes even more worrisome. So that is the update right now. There are no meetings scheduled. You heard what Max Scherzer had to say, but I want your comments down below in the comment section. I want your takes. Who do you side with, the players or the owners? And why is Rob Manfred the worst commissioner in professional sports? We're going to drop a video on that later in the week, and I'll include some of your comments down below. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all off season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la. For all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Download the new Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.